Hi, I'm Tyler with Teach This, and today I'm talking to you about our second of Year 4's Biological Sciences units. This is Ecosystems. Now, as you may have already seen, our first Year 4 Biological Sciences unit on life cycles, this is the second half. It's a 5-lesson unit on ecosystems. Now, as with the other one, all of the science understanding components are covered by PowerPoint presentations for 4 of the units, or 4 of the lessons. Each lesson also has an activity attached to it and a worksheet so that students will really get the opportunity to try some new and exciting things. This unit is really interesting in that the assessment task, the final task, is actually a large role-playing game that students will get the chance to take part in. And once they've completed that, they go through a series of activities designed to get them to think about how it translates into a regular ecosystem. Students learn that living things depend on each other and on their environment to survive. They learn about the relationships between predator and prey, between competitive things within a food system or in an ecosystem. They learn about the changes that go on in an ecosystem and the balance that things need to be in for an ecosystem to be sustainable. They also learn about the impacts that humans are having on ecosystems and the dangers associated with that, and what role they can play in making sure that ecosystems stay healthy in the long term. There are some cross-curricular links. Obviously, students are always working on different texts in science classes, and this one's no different. There's also a lot of mathematical components to this unit where scientists, or little scientists, are taking information that they gather and turning that data into charts and graphs. There are also some geography components. As students early on research an ecosystem or a biome, they learn where that occurs on the planet. And there are some HPE things as well, as 2 of the last activities include games that students will play, role-playing games where students will need to put themselves into different levels of the ecosystem. Obviously there's teamwork involved, there's strategy involved, and they'll need to really be thinking about the rules of the game and how to play the game to be successful. So it's a brief, very condensed unit. There are only 5 parts to the unit. The first is an introduction to the ecosystems. Here students will learn about what ecosystems are, how they work, and they'll also research a biome of their choice. They'll learn about the different roles that living things play within an ecosystem. They'll learn about the predator-prey relationship, which is an important part of the ecosystem and a key component to the science understanding. They'll learn about the risks to ecosystems. These are both natural risks, things like climate events, forest fires, but also the human risks, things like habitat destruction, pollution, those sorts of things. And finally, they play the survival game. A very big game, a game that's best played with lots and lots of kids. So if you're at a school with multiple Year 4 classrooms or multiple Stage 3 classrooms, Stage 2 or Stage 3 classrooms, you may want to try and get other teachers on board to go through that. Let's talk about that assessment. There are 4 worksheets that students complete throughout the unit. Those things can be assessed at the end as a science notebook, but also this final large game has a little booklet attached to it as well that students complete about the strategies they use, the strategies they saw other people use, and how those things might be mirrored in real-life ecosystems. All of those things can be used to assess whether or not students have gotten the full picture of what you're trying to get across in the ecosystems unit. This last game really does take some time in putting things together. There's quite a bit of printing and laminating that you might need to do, as well as maybe a trip to your favorite stationery store to get some paper clips and index cards. But I assure you it's well worth it. There is some setup time, but most of it can be used again and again and again, and it will very quickly be a very memorable and fun experience that students may be asking to do again and again throughout the course of the year. Everything else is pretty straightforward. It's all stuff that you'll be printing out of the unit plan on Teach This. So I hope you enjoy ecosystems as much as I've enjoyed putting it together for you, and we'll see you for the next one. Thanks a lot.